I turned to like whatever dresser and stage manager's there, and I'm like, these are not my shoes. And everyone's looking at me like, can you wear them? I'm like, I can, but they're gonna be a little stompy. Kristen told me I looked going up those stairs. They didn't even know why I was walking like that, but they were like, I noticed you really walking up those stairs. So I guess it looked good. I found out I booked Cabaret on Broadway from my manager. She called me pretty shortly after the audition process and told me I had the offer of a swing and understudy for the role of Fritzie Kost. The rehearsal process for me, covering multiple tracks, was intense, but to be expected. This wasn't my first rodeo, but of course I'd never done this production before, which is in the round, if you've seen it. So our stage is literally a circle, which is pretty different for most of us live theater performers out here. I've only performed on a proscenium stage, and swinging that and understudying that. It was a pretty, for me, I really had to get my notes together and really do a lot of visualizing myself in the space because I didn't always get to rehearse on the circle stage itself. But when I did, I took big advantage of it and just really tried to get my lay of the land, like physically, get it really in my body. And it just kind of came together. Essential understudy skills. Man, I think the biggest friend you have as an understudy is honestly just like sheer courage. You're gonna get nervous, you're gonna have adrenaline, you might be physically shaking, but you have to remember who you are, why you're here, plug yourself into the scene. When I'm nervous as an understudy, I just remind myself when I'm in the wing before I go out, like, what is my character doing in this scene? What is my goal? What do I want? What am I focused on? And if you really plug into that, I think that's the best thing you can do. And trust yourself. Hopefully everything else just like falls in. But over the years, I've understudied on other things too, and I think just like you have to like double down energetically. That's what I try to do. Oh man, routine is a great question. Honestly, from my experience with Broadway and touring, all of it, it's all about routine. Routine is everything, and I think more and more these days with all the behind the scenes access we now have because of social media, you can follow performers along, their whole day. I think we're becoming more and more aware of how much the routine and the schedule is a huge part of it. Like some people might think, oh, you go to work tonight, you don't have to work till 7 p.m. No, my whole day is revolved around what I'm going to execute on the stage that night. And it's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's whole mind, body, spirit. And my routine is I am doing Pilates or a ballet class usually to physically get on my body, in my legs, so I can balance on the circle stage specifically, any stage, but Wicked has that rake stage, same thing. I'm doing that for school warm-up. I'm trying to eat a healthy meal. I'm trying to do protein. I'm trying to do vegetables. I'm trying to have color. We're hydrating like crazy. Every Broadway performer is hydrating like nuts. And vocal warm-up, vocal warm-up. And then I try to do some like spiritual work as well to just be in tune with myself so that I'm not losing myself in all of it, because that can happen too. So the very last thing I'm doing before I enter the space, the stage, the audience, everything, is in the wings. I'm in my costume. I like to put one hand on my heart, one hand on my stomach, solar plexus, and I breathe. I press into my chest. I remind myself who I am, what I'm doing here, and just how excited I am and how fun it is to give this audience a show. So the craziest time I went on, I think it was a last minute-ish call out. And for the last, second to last entrance I do in Act 1, I put on my costume, changing my costume. It's kind of a quick change. And I put these shoes on, and I'm like, these don't feel like my shoes. But I thought it was crazy at first, because I am crazy. So I'm like, maybe I'm just, white rooming or whatever. And then I'm like, staring around, I'm like, no, these shoes don't feel right. So I have checked them out, and they don't have a name in them at all. But I turned to like whatever dresser and stage manager's there, and I'm like, these are not my shoes. And everyone's looking at me like, can you wear that? I'm like, I can, but they're going to be a little snobby stomp. So I have to go on stage, and I was literally like, I picked up my dress, and I was like walking like this. So I could I was gripping with my talon feet, the inside of the shoes, and stepping up like this, but trying to really serve face and body. And then I just sat down really carefully and just really, really careful. And I exited stage that same way. And Christian in the cast told me that I looked, I don't know if I can say this word. Can I say that? Christian told me I looked going up those stairs. They didn't even know why I was walking like that, but they were like, I noticed you really walking up those stairs. So I guess it looked good.